Welcome to Plausible Foolishness. We are the two kings of the Rube Empire. I'm the Philosopher King. I'm the Ivory Tower. I'm the Mad Scientist, Matt. And I've got a perspective on things. Take it, Ray. Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot to unmute you. Go ahead.
What?
Take it, Ray.
Okay.
Yes, go.
Pasa?
Sorry.
Okay.
Mi amigos. Mi nombre es El Forte Uno. ¿Qué pasa? Estoy muy cansado. But I'm going to kick some butt today. So I'm excited to rock and roll today. El Rey himself, the Iron. I don't know how to say iron in Spanish, though. But the Iron El Rey is in su casa. ¿Qué pasa? And I got to introduce Dusty, I guess, because I have an opinion on things.
That's right. You got to. You want to know why? I'm the producer. That's right. I am the kick-ass Duke. What are you going to do? Because I'm the Duke. I am the one, the only, the Dusty. And yeah, I got a few perspectives on a couple of things. But
what are we going to do?
Two kings.
We could have you executed. I mean, that's a thing kings do, right?
You could.
I'm just kidding, man.
What is this? What is that? What I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What is that?
That's because you don't watch wrestling. That's the big red machine.
Well,
anyway, okay.
You ever seen Kane finish him off?
Yes,
Undertaker?
I've seen Kane finish him off. I've seen him live too.
Oh wow!
Big
Nice.
red machine.
Didn't know that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good times. I love wrestling.
WrestleMania.
Anyway,
Indianapolis.
Nice. I've never been to a WrestleMania. I want to.
Fun.
Well, I wanted to. I don't really want to anymore, and it makes me sad that I don't want to.
You miss.
Oh, my roommates worked at the arena there. And
so you got the hookup.
They had free pass. Yeah, they had the free passes, and like, why don't you come on out? Let's check it out. I'm like, but it's wrestling. It's all fake, right?
Dusty. Wow.
Hey, listen. Anybody who didn't grow up with it as a child, like myself, we've all been at that point. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but then you watch it and you go, this is awesome.
That stuff's real. That's awesome. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had that same mentality.
That Undertaker took the world champion.
Nice. I had the same mentality. Then they had the Stone Cold SmackDown special on UPN, and I had nothing else to watch. And I was like, wrestling's so stupid, so fake, but I'll give it a shot. I'll see what's up, at least. Because I didn't have cable, so I never got to see, like, Raw or TNT or, Nitro, I mean. And, and so I watch it. By the end of the night, I'm like, what the hell was wrong with me? Wrestling is awesome. And then the SmackDown special became SmackDown, and I was watching it every week.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, I will say this. The best thing that came out of UPN was the fact that it had wrestling and it had Star Trek Voyager. And what happened in one episode? The
Wayans brothers was a pretty funny show. Shh! Don't tell nobody.
The Rock ended up on an episode of Voyager.
Yes.
Was he?
He was a gladiator.
Yes. He was a gladiator, and he fought 7 of 9.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
And somehow they sold
it was his first television appearance outside of the WWE.
That's right.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, the Rock sold 7 of 9 really well. Let's just say that he.
Yeah. He really, really, really had to sell that.
I mean, that's what happens to pretty much every wrestler.
Talents.
Yeah.
Every wrestler's first appearance in a TV show outside of the WWE is always them getting wrecked because they're not the main character; they're just the bad guy.
Yeah.
So they have to get wrecked.
Do you remember when?
But to be fair, she is Borg, so she had that going for her.
My best friend in elementary school starred in The Rock's first movie.
Really?
Yes.
Rundown?
So before no, not before the Rundown, before
Rundown.
Scorpion King, there was this. There was
one other before it.
There was, yes, but it never made it to the theaters.
Oh, Southland Tales.
It was
something like that. I'm not sure.
VHS only.
Yeah, Southland
Tales.
Yeah. Really weird movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake's in it.
Possibly, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The main the lead was Joseph Sculthorpe, is his name.
Yeah.
He was a founding member of the boy band O-Town until he blew his knee out in football practice. But his brother stayed on. His brother Stephen Sculthorpe was one of the members of O-Town.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Shout out.
So now that we've gone off on this tangent,
yes,
shall we hit to the news?
Okay, so this is a full-on show, so we got to talk about Slapgate real quick.
Oh yeah,
it's like the least important thing that happened this week, but it's the one thing that anybody cannot stop talking about, except for us. Yeah, neither of us care, but it has to be addressed. Ray would like to say something.
What's amazing to me is everyone that hates wrestling because it's fake believes that slap.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Wrestling's so fake. Oh my gosh, drama. If that wouldn't have happened, nobody would have known the Oscars happened.
He almost did one of these.
Yeah.
The Rock's old gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing that I've brought up multiple times is that the jokes were made because Jada Pinkett Smith is sporting a bald look because she has alopecia, which might be caused by if you know what I mean, the jab. But
could be.
Yeah, there's evidence for that.
Yeah.
And so everybody's talking about alopecia. What's alopecia? Oh, hey, she's got alopecia. We should be talking about alopecia. This is a serious thing that's happening to people all over the world. And the Oscars were sponsored by a pharmaceutical group called Pfizer. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're responsible for one of the COVID-19 vaccines. You've probably never heard of them, though.
No, well, yeah.
So Pfizer is sponsoring the Oscars, and if you look it up, Pfizer has an alopecia drug in stage 3 clinical trials with the FDA. So really not too far from being released. And a stunt like this that has everybody talking about alopecia may lead people to wonder if there are drugs that can be purchased to combat that. I mean, it's just,
there is.
Now,
Men's Hair Club.
Yeah, the hair club for men. Yeah. Yeah. There's minoxidil and all that crap, but they've got a new one coming out, and we know that Big Pharma they're saints, and they would never pull a manipulative, con job like this ever. Except that
Neria hair.
No, it's called like Resibidil.
Are you sure it's not called Neria hair?
No, it's not. It's not, but
it's a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence, and just like they don't do things like lead you to believe that their new drug is better than the old drug, when in reality it's at best it's just as effective. sometimes slightly less effective, sometimes it might kill you. And, they'll settle that outside of court. Or, they'll settle that in court and still walk away with $1 billion. But
far be it for a pharmaceutical company or even any company to create a problem for them to fix.
Yeah,
for example,
no, definitely not.
Ever heard of Listerine?
Toothpaste?
Listerine.
The mouthwash?
The mouthwash, yeah.
No.
Ever heard of halitosis?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
Yeah. Listerine was a floor cleaner, and it wasn't doing well. So they created this problem called halitosis and started saying that Listerine can cure it and started selling it as a mouthwash instead of a floor cleaner. Well, sold like gangbusters because, oh, you have halitosis. Your breath stinks. There you go. Problem solved. Sold a bunch of it. There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So,
but
they have a jab that makes you go bald, but hey, we've got a medicine for that.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I saw an article online that said that no, the Oscar slap wasn't a conspiracy by Big Pharma crazies. And so, that settles it for me.
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but
that's it.
Well, the other interesting part of this is, didn't the Smiths boycott the Oscars the last 2 years because it was so white?
Oh yeah, Oscar so white. #.
Oh, that's interesting.
But now he was up for Best Actor, so it's not so white anymore.
Gotcha.
Did you guys see the TikTok I sent you with the more you know?
No.
I think I showed you the video of Will Smith doing the more you know about violence and fighting.
Oh yeah, dude.
Maybe you should rewatch that just to remind himself of that. Just a reminder. The person that goes physical is the one that loses.
Well, here's I hate to bring race into it, but if a white guy went up and slapped a white guy, you think they would have let him stay there?
No.
They even said that they asked him to leave, and he said no.
Well, it's
I saw that. I saw that article too.
Nice privilege.
They never asked him that. That's bullcrap.
Probably not.
No, they didn't.
Because the optics looked bad that they let him go up assault someone, and he didn't leave. Okay, you're telling me that LA doesn't have security guys that are strong enough to kick his ass out of there? Come on.
Or keep him from approaching the stage.
Come on.
Randomly.
You got some butch bears back.
Yeah, but you don't block an A-lister in the Oscars,
I mean, listen, I get it. When you're
deep, is he really an A-lister? I mean, is he?
Yeah, he
is.
Really? He is.
He is.
I mean, he won Best Actor, dude. He's an A-lister. He won Best Actor for playing Serena Williams' dad. Like anybody cares. Yeah. The Freemason hand symbol.
He's a Mason, so you can't touch a Mason. Can't do that, even if they act the fool. But yeah, it was just interesting. The other thing too is we witnessed black on black crime, and this is the only coverage the media's ever given to black on black crime in the last 25 years.
That you have a very good point there. Very good point.
To me. There are so many things.
I want to hear your take on my thought surrounding whether or not he should. I mean, so Jim Carrey's going viral because he's like, you slapped a man, you assaulted a man for words, right? And
yeah,
that's true. There is something to that, right? But I also feel like we're just so weak in that I think Chris Rock ends up looking stronger because he didn't press charges,
Yeah. Where
in this society you get in this society you get touched.
How inappropriate. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is the fruition of cancel culture. Okay. The logical end of cancel culture is if you say words I don't like, I get to physically assault you. And nothing.
Yes,
There's no
and that's
Yeah.
that's not something good.
no.
No.
It
So
isn't.
I disagree with you personally.
Well,
Well, as a man, it's tough because
yeah, it is tough because there's time. Like okay, scenario. You're not on. You're not sitting in front of a comedian who's there to tell jokes. You know, you're at some public place and this drunk guy is saying crap about your wife. You know,
Sure.
well, it's just words, man. It's just words. No, eventually somebody needs to get their mouth punched. You know, I think that's legitimate.
They need to
It's a
meet
totally different context. You know.
Yeah, the problem is you've changed the context. The other context is the whole world knows he's a cuck. So
Yeah.
we know he's a bitch.
No. Yeah, for sure.
We know his wife's a witch. Not figuratively, literally and figuratively. And she's got him by the nuts because he's probably gay. And he doesn't want to get outed as a gay man. So when you've got all those elements connected and you're at an award show where the purpose of the award show is to humble you a little bit, because this is a self grandiose BS circle jerk that every award show is, right? A comedian's there to roast everyone equally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're supposed to walk out of there with a limp a little bit because let's get real, you're getting an award for pretending to be somebody else that you're not.
Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, okay, the joke was really distasteful. I mean, it was a bad joke. Everybody booed the joke. And had he not been slapped,
it wasn't that bad though, bro. Come on, man.
It was Chris Rock was right, dude. It was a GI Jane joke.
It was a GI Jane joke, but it still wasn't funny. Like,
okay,
I wasn't laughing at it the first time I saw it. I was like,
it wasn't like a side splitter.
Right. No, but he would have been denigrated for it the next day for doing a GI Jane joke had he not been slapped, and this whole thing been turned around because of making fun of her disease. I guess it's called disability, whatever. It's the same thing. Disease, like you don't make fun of people's handicap or anything like that. It's just not cool. So he would be getting just canceled like crazy had he not been slapped by Will Smith and had it all blown up.
Yeah, that's why this is a work. This is Vince McMahon revealing that he is the head of the Ministry of Evil. You know what I mean? So I mean, this is like
the Ministry of Darkness. Come on,
it was me the whole time. Yeah, the Ministry of Darkness. You know, it's a work. I've seen this. How many times have we seen heel turns and works? And you know, it's a work. So
this also is. It feels like PR to make Will Smith seem more of a. To kind of undo the whole cuckery.
I'm gonna meet my wife, even though I'm letting her get balled out by other dudes.
Yeah,
I'm a man who likes other men. I mean,
loves
her a lot.
All right, so enough of Slapgate. It's stupid. It's a work.
Thank you.
Let's move on to more important things.
It's like, here's a wrestling analogy. It's as bad as when Hornswoggle was revealed as Vince McMahon's illegitimate child. It's that much of a disappointment. That was the worst reveal of all time. But yeah, sorry.
Good times. So we talked about Disney last Thursday and how they're working overtime to lose our money, to alienate us and make it so that nobody wants to buy their stuff, and they've like tripled down on it in the matter of 1 week, and really in the matter of a weekend.
Have you seen the retaliation though? That's going to hit them right in the balls.
Oh yeah, I mean, people
Which
are
one?
dropping Disney Plus left and right.
Even worse than
Yes.
that, my friend.
No, I haven't seen that.
Florida legislation is investigating overturning the Reedy Creek Act of 1967. If you're familiar, Disney doesn't sit in Orlando proper or Kissimmee. It's its own governing body entity. It's called Reedy Creek. So if you ever see the maps or see anything that's going on there, it's called Reedy Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
They're literally, they're like, okay, you hate our legislation, we're going to drop the act that protects you from our police force, our fire force, and every single protection that you have from the fact that you're not in a municipality. Because let's get real, if they are literally their own government entity, what are they not doing right now? What are they not paying right now?
Property tax.
Property tax. That'll hurt you right in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
That is the equivalent land mass. I think isn't it the equivalent of New York City? That's how much land mass they have.
Easily, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So imagine now you've got to pay county and city. I think it would probably go under Kissimmee. It'd probably go to Kissimmee City, but I don't know what's Kissimmee's county. What is that?
Osceola.
It's still under Orange.
No, it's Osceola. It's Osceola. Kissimmee and St. Cloud are Osceola.
I mean, Disney would be under Orange County for the majority of it, but there is a portion that does go into Osceola.
So now you're paying 2 county taxes, and you just got hit with the city too on your property. Oops, that might hurt.
Yeah.
So if they start talking about that, I think magically Disney's down.
And I mean, it gets, your taxes are based on the appraisal of the value of that land.
Yeah.
So what is the value of Disney World's land?
Listen,
billions?
Let's just say cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Hey, they just paid for the I-4 Ultimate project. Yay!
Yeah. But think about it. Walt got away with murder. Now, we're grateful that Walt got away with murder. We wouldn't be here, okay?
Yeah,
Walt got away with Nobody lived in the state of Florida back in the 60s, like in the late 50s. So when
Orlando was a swamp.
Yeah. So him and a lot of private investors started buying up land, and they're like, hey, listen, we really want to make this an immersive experience. And here's the deal. We'll bring in lots of people from all over the world to Orlando if you just let us run our own town as its own town. We'll
Makes sense. It's not a bad deal. It doesn't even feel it doesn't feel shady to me either.
But here's the problem.
Quite honestly, it's actually done a lot for Orlando. I mean, we're the tourist capital of the world. Because of Disney alone, there is no state income tax in the state of Florida.
But when you think that you're bigger than the people,
that's when you run into problems. And it wasn't Walt that thought he was bigger than the people.
No, not at all. No. Walt's turning over in his grave.
Walt was American.
Yeah. I mean, you can read. Glenn Beck he has the prospectus for Disney World. That Walt took around to the investors, and the whole thing is about the greatness and the American spirit that brought us and this country to prominence on the world stage. That's what Walt Disney World was supposed to be a showcase of.
Yeah, but look at the World Showcase. What's the biggest area? The Americas.
Yeah. All the presidents.
Yep.
My thing is this. Here's what I enjoy about Florida legislation. There is no F's given right now. Now they have fake range because it took Trump to start the noise, and then it took DeSantis to kind of like creep out and be like, is it okay to have big balls here? Is that okay? And then the Florida legislation's like, oh, he's actually getting political clout. So let's have balls too. So I appreciate, again, I hate to make it about Trump, but I do appreciate that the environment to have big old pairs of balls is happening to our legislation to the point where we're fighting against grooming. We're fighting against the eventually we're going to have a constitutional carry in the great state of Florida, which we should already have. But there's a
We
lot.
should. I'm really surprised we would be the if we passed it tomorrow, we would be the 29th state to pass constitutional carry. Which why are we the 29th state, not the first or second?
Well, we
We
talked
had
about
rhinos
this.
Seriously.
Yeah, we had a rhino running the committee that it had to go through to make it to the vote, and it got shut down over and over and over again.
Charlie Chris, is that his name? Did we have
Chris,
him
yeah.
for a minute?
Yeah.
Jeb Bush for a minute. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Purples. Yeah, I'm tired of being purple. I want red.
Come on, man.
But yeah, no, it's I do
Show
enjoy
me the blood.
No, I enjoy the balls that our legislation has to quash this stuff, because the reality is this: Disney is a business. Sometimes they forcefully need to be reminded that they're getting our money, but they don't have to get our money. And then if you really want to piss them, or really, because here's they got it by the nuts. If you revoke that act of 1967 for Reedy Creek, what are they going to do about it? You gonna move to L.A.? The world ain't coming.
No, they're moving. They're already moving their headquarters to Lake Nona,
Exactly.
which is a suburb of Orlando. So
Yep.
they're leaving LA to come here.
So take it away. Be like, okay, cool. You're under us now.
Yeah.
And the magic starts going away when now you got to deal with Orlando PD and our fire department, and you got to deal
Actually, it wouldn't be Orlando PD. It would be the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
with.
Because Orlando PD does not, their jurisdiction does not travel that far. Orange County Sheriff's Office has their own department for Disney, Sector 6.
It's good because the sheriff
Hey, Sector
answers
6.
to
Love you guys.
sheriff answers to the people.
I hate to be
a certain degree.
conspiratorial, but didn't a bunch of Disney employees get busted for pedophilia? Like,
Oh,
couple-
yeah.
23 of them.
Yeah.
Who would
I heard a
23.
lot more than that. I heard like it was like 100, over 100 something.
Who would
Or at least
No, no,
100,
there's
over 100 were.
were busted. 23 of them were Disney employees.
Okay.
4 of them were higher ups in the Disney employee echelons.
So would they be hiding behind Reedy Creek Authority? Jurisdiction?
Could. Probably not.
It depends on where they live.
No,
True.
because they were caught in Polk County.
Yeah, they were.
Who's the sheriff in Polk County?
Grady Judd, my
Who?
boy. My ninja.
Greedy Judd. And guess what? He
My
put their
ninja.
picture in front of the news and said, "Hey, we got some of your people over here, Disney. You might want to pay attention to this."
I knew Florida was going to be awesome when I would watch the news, and Grady Judd was on every single night, like locking
dare you.
locking drug dealers up. I loved it. I was like, these are my people.
I really want him to be. I really want him to be our next governor.
That'd be
Can you imagine Grady Judd taking over for Ron DeSantis?
Hmm.
The balls on that man. The office is not big enough for those balls.
he could solve he could solve World War III just because they know that he's there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He has access to like weapons and I don't know.
Let's invade the United States. Okay, just not Florida.
Not Florida. They shoot you there.
Okay, so let's do a little dreaming. What legislation would you like to see our newly found courageous legislator take on?
Ban abortion
Okay.
immediately.
Yep.
Because now
That's definitely.
here's the thing. The state of Florida is an amazing place. It's an oasis. I just got done talking to a couple from Mississippi who just moved here. They moved here during the pandemic 2 years ago, and they're like, wow, it was really amazing. I was like, aren't you glad you came here instead of anywhere else in the country? And they're like, yeah, it was like nothing happened. I'm like, yeah, it's so weird, right? It's like it was normal here.
Big nothing burger.
A lot of people
protection.
pissed and moaned, but that was it.
And it's even more refreshing, like when I'm sitting there, like because I've got to deal with I got to deal with the evil bankers and stuff like that. But my company's like international, so I got to deal with people on the West Coast, and just hearing this stupidity out of their mouth, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't handle it. But I think another thing
Can you
that
please wear a mask? I'm really uncovered. Can you please wear a mask?
This was the line.
We're on Zoom.
It's a
We're
video
on Zoom,
call, but
buddy.
I really want a mask.
No.
Yeah.
It just
I can transmit sound and video digitally, but not viruses. You moron.
Here's the thing.
You could still transmit viruses. Viruses.
That's not how it works.
Over the internet. My computer keeps getting viruses. You can transmit viruses over the internet. I just want you to wear a mask.
That's where I use my powers to reach through, literally reach through the internet and strangle the person using the Force.
Yeah, the things that I heard today were laughable, but I think I tried to be Christ-like, but I did think about it, so it is what it is. But no, I mean, we have a hedge of protection, specifically in Florida, because we try to do things biblically, and I don't think that we do them intentionally biblically, but I think because we've had such success, and we've had a lot of people migrate here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to a colleague of mine that's out in Oregon, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Oh, all these stupid people complaining about the gas prices. They're all driving excursions," and I'm like, "Oh, all those stupid people that have to work for a living and get around, and not everybody's got an excursion." And I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "Oregon." I was like, "Oh, that explains a lot." And that's all I said, and I kind of left it there. He kind of felt the shot coming that way, and then anyways. But long story short, I was like, we have a hedge of protection, but the problem is this: we need a full-on. I don't want to call it theocracy, but we kind of need.
We need a great awakening.
Yeah, we need to ban the slaughter of babies in our state. I think that you want to see the state flourish. Ban the Moloch worship, ban the innocents getting shed, make these psychopathic men and women that want to butcher their babies go to Georgia, go to Alabama, go to Mississippi. Well, good luck in Alabama and Mississippi because it's going to get out wild there, but go to Atlanta and slaughter your babies at the altar of homosexuality that's growing there in Atlanta. So just go there and don't do it here, and you're going to see massive.
You could always go to LA and they'll pay for it themselves. I mean, the great state of LA is going to bankrupt themselves into oblivion, and hey, go for it. Don't ask for the federal government for money when you absolutely bankrupt your entire state.
They will.
And they'll get it. Because we're stupid, but it is what it is. But
no, because there's enough Democrats in the House and Congress that go, we can't let California fail. No, let it fail. If there's a state that runs itself into the ground like that, let it drive itself down to the ground and bury itself.
They let Alabama and all the little southern states fail, so let's let California fail too. So I'm cool with it. But no,
let it burn.
Perfect world. Dream legislation. If we got some nuts, let's save some babies. Let's save American citizens that are trying to come into the world and not get slaughtered, get their heads crushed before they come out.
Agreed. Dusty, what do you dream legislation?
Other than open carry, which I've always been an advocate for because I think it'd just make our world much safer. Who's robbing a store when you see them? Everybody in the store carrying a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it solves so many problems.
You guys ever seen the movie?
No.
It's on Netflix right now. It's phenomenal, but it's basically about these guys robbing Texas banks, and they try to stick to tiny little banks, but then they end up going to this bigger bank, and they do it at rush hour. So you're trying to rob a Texas bank in the middle of the day, and like they get shot up and everything goes bad because like every citizen's got a gun. They all hop in their trucks and go out. You know, it's like it's wild. But yeah, to your point, Dusty.
Well,
Imagine a world
it's kind of like this. Okay, I saw this one. I don't remember what movie it was, but it was hilarious. These two guys run in with shotguns and give me all your money, give me all your money. Then you figure out it's Dunkin' Donuts. And the store is full of what?
Cops.
It's full of cops. Man, I knew this was a bad idea. Why? Okay, why is that a bad idea? Because all the cops are armed. Now, imagine if they're citizens. All the citizens are armed. It's still a bad idea. Guns keep people honest, and guns keep people polite.
It's the great equalizer.
It is.
But a dream legislation. So something that isn't already on the books, ready to be.
Okay. In the state of Florida or just federal?
State of Florida, yes. Forget federal. Let's stop talking about federal unless we have to. I mean,
well, the great thing is
national
there's so many
divorce,
great things
really.
that are already in there that federally is a problem, but for the state of Florida, it's not. Balanced budget has to be balanced according to our Constitution and must be balanced every 2 years. So it's awesome. And they have to balance it. It's in our Constitution. If not, they get into a lot of trouble because it's then unconstitutional to carry debt in the state of Florida.
Yep.
I would like to see some sort of legislation that switches all power in the state of Florida to nuclear. I think that would be pretty awesome.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
The federal government controls nuclear, which is stupid, by the way. You know that, right?
It's very stupid, and that's part of the reason why I'd like to see it go to the state level, and where the states get to go, hey, we're going to invest in this. This is what we're going to do. We're switching our entire state over to nuclear. Get rid of all 45 coal plants, and switch.
And if you got a problem with that, we got 2 words for you.
I think there's 9 nuclear plants in the state of Florida.
Let's throw our weight around.
Smaller coal plants.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm down with that. Let's throw our weight around. Where in the Constitution does it say that the federal government has control over energy?
Doesn't.
Yeah,
exactly.
Show the world that nuclear is the best way to go. It's the cleanest way to go. You want to go green? Right. Go nuclear.
Let's do it. Okay.
Hey, Matt.
My turn.
Matt.
What?
No, I changed my mind. I want to make lynching a hate crime in Florida. I think if we do that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I was not expecting you to go there.
Just kidding. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. Well, we already have we're working on a law against ESG, and we've talked about that before. I want that to go through and it to be like hard on it because this is evil and it's basically the Chinese social credit score, and we don't need that in Florida or in America at large. But that's kind of already being worked on, so I'll go bigger. I want to see Florida adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. All right.
Ooh.
I want to see. Ooh. I would like to see. I mean, gosh, pie in the sky. Maybe Florida becomes its own country and and we secede from the union and let them do whatever the hell they want, and they can cram it with walnuts because we aren't part of that anymore.
So that happened.
So then we'd have to carry a Florida visa to travel outside the state.
Cool with me. I don't need to go anywhere else in this. I've been there.
I'm sure we can make. We can make deals with red states because that's the only ones I want to go to anyway.
Well, the other thing too, you got to think about it. The European Union, right? Like, you're still kind of a sovereign country, not really, but let's go state to state just to make sure you have your visa on you and stuff like that. But I mean, the border's open in Mexico right now, so I mean, I don't think it should be an issue for us to go to Alabama or Georgia, or, you know what I mean? So
True.
because America's borders anyway. So I mean,
oh,
shouldn't be a
don't
big
worry,
issue.
don't worry. The feds will be petty enough to block us to secure the Florida border after we secede.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. I'm fine. We got everything we need right here.
Nobody lives on the Florida border though.
What?
Like, oh, darn.
Yeah, true.
It's gonna be hard to get to Valdosta. That's tough.
Yeah.
Man, rough times.
It will be hard to get Cookout, though. I've heard good things about Cookout, and I want to try it, but that's about it. There was one other one that I thought of when you were talking, but I don't remember what it was, so it must not have been important. Okay, let's go to the big story that we titled the episode, that I titled the episode about. Did you know that on the 29th and 30th of March this year, there was a global government summit? Global Government Summit 2022.
Really? So the New World Order's meeting?
Well, it's funny that you use that phrase, because the actual very first meeting was titled, "Are we ready for the New World Order?"
Yeah.
The second one was about the transition from traditional currency to an all digital currency. Now, we're not talking about we're talking about blockchain, but we're not talking about cryptocurrency, because crypto is decentralized. We're talking about a very, very, very centralized, Federal Reserve coin and World Bank coin and that kind of thing, where they can see the beauty of it. And like these are like paraphrase quotes. The beauty of it is that it's almost a perfect accounting of every transaction. So we'll have extreme control over how money is being used. The New York Times had an article. The New York Times had an article about programmable money, where, let's say your BMI is a little high. And of course you might think, well, BMI is a ridiculous standard and it's bogus science. But doctors still use it. And your BMI is a little high. Yeah. And they say, and so you're in the store and you're like, you know what? I want a nice juicy steak tonight. And you go to pay for it, and sorry, your programmable money says your BMI score is too high. You can't purchase this steak. But we have this lovely bug meat for you, because we know that steak is unhealthy. Red meat is unhealthy. Sure. Even though study after study after study is coming out saying that actually meat is one of the healthiest things that you can eat. In fact, you could cut out vegetables entirely and consist only on meat and be doing really well for yourself. But I digress. I mean, consider that. That's where they want to go.
Or expiration money.
Oh yeah.
So you have money, but it expires after a certain amount of time. So say you get a
it's not just that
it expires in 30 days.
Yeah, it's not just that it's specifically set aside for a specific use. That's all that you can use it for. If you don't use it, on top of that, it just flitters away. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy. You'll be happier for it. So let's just look at some of the themes. This is from the World Government Summit. You see? World Government Summit.
Yep.
Themes: building cities of the future. In a rapidly urbanizing world, 70% of the world population will live in cities by 2050. The way cities are designed and operate will define the path to sustainability based on decisions made towards smart infrastructure, transportation systems, energy and production and consumption, waste management, and citizens' engagement as partners in driving change. Citizens' engagement, in other words, make sure that you're on board with everything that we're doing, or else your money might not work. Actioning sustainability for positive impact. The impact of climate
make
change
sure
is
that everybody in the rural areas move to the urban areas.
Oh, yeah. The impact of climate change is increasingly visible and devastating. Youth are lobbying for change, yet progress on curbing global emissions have reached a standstill. Successful climate action is needed that builds scalable partnerships and incentivizes the advancement and adoption of renewable energy, new technologies, and most importantly, social responsibility to win the race to net zero for humanity. You better make sure that you are living a sustainable lifestyle, or else your money might not work. Exploring the frontiers. Human curiosity and ingenuity always push the boundaries of knowledge, science, and technology to solve some of its greatest challenges to shape a better future. Exploring the next frontier is in the very nature of humanity and the key to our survival. The key to our survival might be, I don't know, enhancing the human genome, integrating technology into the human body to make us more durable, more intelligent, more controllable. Empowering societal empowering societal resilience. The fraying of social fabric is increasingly exacerbated by inequality, the spread of fake news on digital platforms, as well as the rise of populism, intolerance, and extremism. Governments must lead the way with better regulation and foster global dialogue on human values, identity, faith, culture, arts, sports, and peace. I can't wait for governments of the world to tell me about human values and identity and faith. That's gonna be fantastic.
The government can start telling me about human values when they stop killing babies.
Or starting wars
That's when
all over the world.
Yeah.
Or theft.
Yeah. So when you stop stealing, murdering on a massive scale, murdering innocents on a absolutely astronomical scale, then you can come talk to me about, oh, we want to make things better.
Yeah. And it just keeps going on.
Yeah,
we've got enabling.
Singh didn't want to make it better.
Yeah.
Lots of transhumanism in there too, by the way.
What's that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was my expansion on the ideas that they were, hinting at, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was part of it. So I took a little, I did a little editorial at the end of that with the transhumanism stuff, but I think it's
in there.
Definitely part of that equation. But there's even more. Enabling the future of education and work, accelerating global economic recovery, policies that drive progress and government development. Yes, we need more government development. Designing the future of healthcare systems. Ooh, can't wait for that. Maybe your healthcare won't work if you don't agree.
Yeah, stealing other people's labor to give to other people. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Tons of personal liberty there.
Let's look at some of the speakers. You got the Sultan of Brunei. Cool. You had a let's see. Sorry, I lost that page. Sultan of Brunei, Chief CEO of IBM, Arvind Krishna. Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, H.E. Kristalina Georgieva. And more. There's a bunch of other people. What's that?
Didn't IBM program for the Nazis?
Oh yeah, they did. The numbers tattooed on the prisoner's arm, that was IBM code for,
Sure.
organizing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
The other-
Wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Just keeping track of.
I mean, they programmed for the
wanna make
Allies
sure
too.
track.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like crazy when big government entities are funded by both sides.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
strange.
But yeah, that's this is just another. But they're so brazen now. I mean, they literally call it they're calling it the New World Order over and over again. Why?
Because they don't care. They know
'Cause they don't
nobody
care.
believes them.
Exactly. Because they say New World Order, and then people like us go, they're talking about the New World Order. God, that's a conspiracy theory from like H.W. Bush. Give me a break. What are we talking about, the Illuminati and that? So no, they're freaking literally saying it. The Global Government Summit. Wake up. We need to be preparing now. Get involved in your state.
No, man,
Local.
Ukraine.
Start with your PTA. It's something small. Just start with that.
Yes.
And then
get started
go
with
to-
local, but be watching what your state does. We need to be involved. Florida has this group that is expanded across the country called Moms for Liberty. If you're a mom and you feel like you need to be involved, especially in like school and stuff, check that out. They're doing tremendous work. And they started right here in Florida. There's all kinds of stuff that you can be involved. I mean, there's things that you can do in your own town that will help. Every little bit helps. You know what else helps? Sharing the show. I mean, we're talking about these things. People need to know it, right? If you got friends who don't know but are interested, let them know about us, and we'll keep giving the information as best we can. And it helps us grow, which is what we're trying to do. We'd like to actually make this
it helps us define terms.
Full-time thing
like
someday.
Woman.
Yeah. We're three dudes who have no problem telling women what a woman is.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was misogynist. Oh yeah, that was
bunch of bleeders.
Jeez.
So.
No, but seriously though, share it, get involved, share us, get involved in your local community, get involved at the state level, even if it's just calling your state legislatures and your governor and saying, we don't want this crap, but we do want this crap.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been all this garbage that's happening in our lives right now that we're seeing is because we weren't involved, because we went to sleep. Somebody else will take care of it. It's taking care of itself. I don't even really care. I don't even need to care. Well, yeah, you did. We did.
Yep. We do.
Yeah. And if you're really ballsy, just advocate for no government at all and to live your life as you see fit. It's government is the source of, but not the solution to, not all problems, but most of life's problems. Most of life's problems. It's definitely not the solution to any problem, and it is the cause of most problems. And maybe not most.
But does it prevent more problems?
What's that?
That's the question.
Does it prevent
more problems? Yeah.
I don't see how. I don't see how it prevents other problems that we couldn't prevent ourselves. Let me put it that way. there are elements that we could probably do a better job. There are elements that government there are things that government provides for sure that can be seen as necessary.
Sure.
But I would argue that we could probably do it better ourselves. You know?
Still want Mad Max, bro. Still want Mad Max.
Let's go.
Oh,
Thunderdome.
All right on your shoulder. All right on your shoulder.
Oh, gosh.
And you carry you get on the bullhorn.
Let's just get back to
Give
the
us
city
the
states.
oil.
Let's just city state it. and then
the
Yeah.
oil.
chip to
Just
like, breed.
leave. Go.
Just leave.
It'll be
All right,
fun.
boys, let's wrap it home, man. Let's take it home, man. Let's take it home.
All right. Yeah, globalism is the big threat. The Democrats are not the threat. The Democrats are being used by the globalists to
Yes.
enact
No,
what they're doing.
They're just fuel for the fire for the globalists.
Yeah, they'll turn on them. They're the brown coats in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They're useful.
Exactly.
You know, Antifa is hella useful. BLM is hella useful. But eventually they'll outlive their usefulness, and you know, as our betters take over, you know,
Dare I
and
say
institute.
the community?
Yeah.
They're useful, right?
Do you think they really care about identity? No, they care about their wealth and their power, and confusing everyone over the issue of identity only serves to make them more powerful. We're busy talking about what the definition of woman is, and they're designing money that they can program to cut you off if they don't like what you think. Why are we talking about this crap? I mean, it is important.
Yeah.
It is important in a cultural thing, you know, on a cultural level, but what they're doing is way more important. That's my final
because
thought.
it will affect us more directly.
100%. It'll affect everybody.
Yep.
It'll affect the woman who can't define what a woman is. It'll affect the dude who thinks he's a woman. It'll affect you and your children and your children's children ad infinitum. Until the Lord Jesus Christ comes again and burns the world to a crisp to create the new world. The ultimate new world order. The only one that will ever work and be an eternity of bliss for all of humankind, an angel alike that served the living Christ.
For that. They only get away, here's my final thought, they only get away with it because they have you focused on the wrong thing, right? So
Yeah.
they just did a poll and ask Americans what they thought percentage-wise demographics were, right? So first question was what percentage of American is African American? Who would you say, boys?
12 to 13%.
13%. 13% of our population are African Americans. The average answer was 49%.
Wow, that's a
The next
wow.
was what percentage of America is Hispanic?
That's, I think,
Isn't
8%.
it-
6 to 8, I'd say.
I thought it was 11%, 11 or 12.
17% of our American population is
wow.
Latino. 17%.
Okay. Did not know that.
They're the second largest.
Interesting.
They're the largest minority in America. Average answer was 35%. Okay. The next polling question was, how many Americans are transgender?
0.018%.
They're claiming it's like 20%. Well, okay, transgender. They're claiming like 20% of the population is alphabet people. So all of the, you know, the queer
Whatever your
identities.
letter is.
But
it's 1%. 1% of America is transgender, allegedly, and I still think that's high. But what the average guess was 25%. Americans thought 25% of Americans were transgender. Okay,
1 in 4 people. Like it's
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
walking on the street
Okay.
and they don't. It does not compute.
Okay,
Where
here's
I mean, do you see that happening? 1 in 4 people.
Here's the next ones are going to make you laugh. Okay, I got 2 more. How many Americans are LGBTQ? Plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19 pedophile.
Well, again, they say
less than 10%.
They're trying to say that it's like 20%. And
Less
if
than
you
10.
look in by generation, the number is increasing, but that's because of, grooming and the culture that is being pushed and not just pushed, but just enabled and encouraged and in every facet. But go ahead.
The American people believe it's 30%. This is why Disney really wants 50% of their characters to be gay, but the reality is only 3% of Americans identify as homosexual. Okay? Here was the last one, which was hilarious. What population percentage of Americans live in New York City?
What percentage of Americans live in New York City? 0.0001%, something like that.
Yep. Dusty.
It's 1% or less.
3% of our country lives in New York City. Okay?
Really?
3%. Yes.
There's 3 million
I wouldn't
people in
guess
New York.
That much.
New York's a big
No,
city.
sorry, 9 million people in the about 9 million people in.
Yeah, it's a lot. Wow.
Wow.
The
In New York City?
The pollster
Yeah,
said
there's about 11 million.
Yeah, there's a lot
in
of
New
people
York
in
City.
Yeah.
Where do they fit them?
It's a sardine, brother.
On top of each other. On top of each other.
It doesn't seem like that could be possible.
You've been there though, right?
No, I've never been there.
Dude, New York is, it's disgusting.
I mean, I know that there's a ton of people.
I lived there for 6 months. They literally live on top and on top and on top and on top and on top of each other.
It's like rats, bro. Now, here's the thing.
The rats there are impressive.
They're dogs. No, but honestly, the reason why you can get away with murder if you're a globalist psychopath is because you have a population that has an absolute ridiculous perception of reality.
Okay? Well, what did they say the percentage of people was?
15%.
Actually,
people 15%. They said 15% of America lives in New York City, which is hilarious. Now,
I was thinking it was like a couple million people. I didn't know.
No, it's a lot. Now, but it's still not. It's not.
Yeah, but 3% is still not. Yeah.
No. So my point is this: we are bending over backwards, essentially for 1% of the population. Okay.
Yeah.
We have gotten rid of
less than 1%.
We're getting rid of boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, because of 1% that might be offended. Okay. Let's take that in the context of any other situation. If you're in church and one person hates the worship song, 1 out of 100, what's happening with that worship song?
It's going to keep getting played.
We still sing the song. Think about it in your family. Just think of your
depends on the church, though.
But realistically, okay, most of us have 4. Our families are of 4. Let's say that one of your kids just doesn't want to do something. Does your whole family plan stop for the one kid?
No.
Now amplify that by 99%. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, we're asking for representation of our entertainment to be 50% gay people when only 3% of the country identifies that way, if that. And I still think that's an inflated number. Let's get real.
Yeah.
You're worried about rainbow flags when my gas pump is insane. Okay? You're trying to control my currency, and I'm worried about gay sex stuff that you're trying to teach a kindergartner? Are you kidding me?
They're trying to make us eat bugs for our health.
Okay?
No.
You would literally think that black men were dropping like flies in America if you thought that 50% of the population was black. It's not. It's not. And you would be even more.
Well,
here's the thing.
not just that. Not just that. If black people are 50% of the population, no wonder they think that they're underrepresented everywhere.
Exactly. They're underrepresented. So you need affirmative action everywhere. You need blah, blah, blah. And here's the other thing. You're not as startled by crime statistics when you think, oh, well, half the country's black. So, of course, there's going to be a disproportionate amount of, black crime because it's like 50%. It's not. It's not. So,
Yeah.
like, what I'm getting at is we have such a warped view of actual statistics. And the only reason, like, I was talking to Charity about this. I was like, when I wrote my first book, like, I really went into this just because I wanted to talk about perception with people. When you mess with people's perception and it becomes the reality, you can do whatever you want to with people. You can. You can do whatever the frick you want.
That's what a con is.
100%. Like, you can say the New World Order till there's blue in the face because it doesn't matter. You've already put the parameters out there and you've dumbed down the population to where they don't really, oh, New World Order? Is that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan? Is that who that is? You know what I mean? So
no.
Educate people. That's my whole point. If you educate people, they don't fall for this stupidity. And that's what we're trying to do on the show. That's my final thought.
One point to add, our perception of reality is so skewed, and then you've got the World Government Summit talking about the fraying of social fabric due to the spread of fake news, and how governments must lead the way with better regulation and foster global dialogue on human values, identity, faith, culture, arts, sports, and peace. As if they aren't the progenitors of fake news.
Of course not.
They're the ones who've distorted our view of reality through news that is not real.
Yes. Stories that there's no facts behind them.
Exactly.
Russian
exactly. 3 years.
No truth.
Hey, at least Hillary Clinton and the DNC got fined $1 million 3 years after the fact.
Ooh.
Exactly.
And didn't he almost get impeached by it?
Something.
Yeah. I'm glad Hunter Biden's coming out now. Sorry.
Exactly. All right. What do you got, Dusty?
Guys pretty much covered all of my stuff that I was going to talk about. So
we are the two kings.
You guys are the two kings, and yet you prove it yet again. So all I have to say is have a good night, folks. That's all.
On that note, you've been watching Plausible Foolishness, the home of the Rube Empire, where the people are free, the taxes are voluntary, and we serve freshly roasted liberal logic every Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. We're working on the time. Right here on twitch.tv/Plausible Foolishness, YouTube, Facebook Live, anywhere you can get a podcast, Instagram, and mens.com. Peace out. God bless. See ya next Thursday.
Okay, groomers.